I was born in Manhattan, actually. My parents are both foreign. My dad was from India, and my mom's from France. They met in the city, and I was born there. But all of my family is actually in other countries. The Whitney used to not have a permanent collection on view, and when we transformed the fifth floor into the permanent collection floor, and that was literally the first time in its history there would be like a permanent viewed collection. It was always rotating otherwise. So I was in charge of that project with Adam. And I think these sort of opportunities allowed me to learn really, really quickly things that one might otherwise, just the natural course would be a lot slower. I had the opportunity to just jump in and start see as much as possible, meet as many artists as possible, because my area was immediately then specifically working on these site-specific commission projects. I had a great privilege to be able to learn my voice by doing it, not deciding it in advance, but actually trying, working with artists and interesting and refining what I thought was interesting about this contemporary scene at that time. It was a little bit like running your own alternative space, but with the backing of a major institution in terms of quality and support. Really unique opportunity that way. But yeah, while I shaped the program entirely, of course, I presented to the curatorial committee with every new idea, but it was just to make sure I wasn't insane, basically. At the outset, Altria was another great luxury. It had a set budget that could only be used there. So I wasn't competing with the Uptown exhibitions for that. And because it was free, and that was just the contract with Philip Morris, essentially. And so that was great because I didn't have to do anything for that part. So LAND is an acronym. It stands for Los Angeles Nomadic Division. And the idea of it is a public art initiative that is all commission art projects with contemporary artists. Basically, it's intended to be the same kind of challenging and I think exciting, innovative contemporary work that I was able to work with at the museum, but into the public realm and free and maybe part of people's experience in a way that is a little more day-to-day than necessarily going to an institution to see it. And then for the artists, I hope giving them the opportunity to work in ways that don't always function as well within the gallery or museum confines. Well, I definitely think one of the reasons I wanted to be in Los Angeles, it's much more accepted and understood for things to be site-specific and process-based, even evolve over time and not be just a single thing or a single object that gets placed somewhere. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just a particular mode and way of practice and type of practice that I think has become much more acceptable is not the right word, but more people can wrap their heads around it, I guess. Well, no artist makes money from a not-for-profit. I mean, at the end of the day, that's not directly. But the idea is that if you're able to give artists an opportunity to elaborate their voice and have more visibility and presumably, if you're lucky, more press, more awareness of who they are, what they do, then that directly relates to their presence in the market. My goal for LAND is that it becomes its own organization, and whoever is the director is the director. The way if you think about, LACE or I'm trying to think of something, a smaller organization like Artist Space or something like that. They exist now. The person who founded them is no longer the only person who could run it. Right. At this point in time, I don't think that's the case for LAND. Some of the best part is that the whole thing is a conversation from the beginning, and obviously the central genesis is them and their idea, but at the end of the day, especially commissioned projects, it's kind of a bit more like a movie. Every part of it changes the project. The venue changes the project, the limitations change the project, the money changes the project, who other people involved and what they can help realize change the project, and of course the artist is the center of it, but it's an organism of sorts that kind of works together. Yeah, I think that you can't underestimate, and I'm not saying this is a good thing, but you can't underestimate the pressure of the market system these days. There are so many aspects that push you to do the things that other people recognize the market has never had the kind of strength that it has and power over not-for-profits that it does now, and it's very distressing to me. Increasingly so, actually, in the last 5 years. Like, it feels exponentially different. I mean, we get proposals all the time. I mean, sometimes it takes me longer than others, depending on what else we're doing. Like, I can't always get to them right away, but I read everything I get. More often than not, I will say, like, it's usually my research and my process that gets me to that stage with someone, but it doesn't mean that when things come to me, whether they're via a friend or another artist I work with, or just a proposal outright, somebody I don't know, they do, like I said, they are a part of the process for me as well. I know that this sounds like a cop-out answer, but I really don't think you can have one without, like, you can have it both ways. I just don't believe that works that way. Like, risk-taking comes, being able to think your own way and do things your own way comes with a lack of perfect stability and predictability. And I sort of think they can't be otherwise. It's always seemed to me, in watching other curators and artists, so on, that this is going to sound really simplistic, but sometimes it's really just about making sure people don't forget to think of you.